Hey everybody, welcome back to Dicing with Death, where our intros are always perfectly timed and never run three or four things at the same time and then realize that they're all muted. That's not what we do here. That's someone else's channel. We are pure professionalism.
Of course.
Um, so you're with these guys, and they start heading down to the south, mostly south, maybe a little bit eastward.
hmm
Um, and yeah, is there anything you'd like to say to them while you guys trek?
Nope, I think I trot behind them in silence upon my horse.
All right. Rich asks you, so Lady Verissa, Miss Verissa, whatever, uh, whereabouts you from?
uh, Hamlet.
Hamlet. It's a rundown Podunk Place.
Couldn't agree more.
You ever been in real combat? You ever fight an orc?
Can't say that I've had the pleasure
You
of
know,
fighting an orc, that is.
well, most of us beleaguered men, old soldiers from the orc campaigns of last decade or so. Campaigns were over. We cleared out all the orcs. Army disbanded. Didn't pay us, and we were just left with nothing. A lot of good men gave their lives for to kill those orcs. A lot of good men gave many years of service and didn't get paid for the last one of them.
I feel your pain, although those campaigns were before my time.
Yeah, you did look pretty
Am
good.
I familiar with this orc war that they're discussing?
Yeah, there are a bunch of orcs that live to the north. Um,
Just in the
and
forest or like farther to north than that?
I mean, they're within the forest, but they're pretty far north. Uh,
Like so it looks like there's empty forest and then there's like a another road like hundreds of miles to the north,
yeah,
wherever that is.
they're closer to that other road,
hmm
usually in and around that area. They rarely come down to this area near Shimmerstone Lake and all this other stuff, but
hmm
about a decade ago, there was some orcish activity that was getting a little bit close to Trensgar, which is near
hmm
the mouth of the Trensgar River. And so a posse and a bunch of people were put together, roamed around the forest for a couple of years, finding orcs, killing orcs.
hmm
The orcs retreated eventually and went back to their original business. It was considered a great success and has been hailed by many people as the kingdom watching out for its own people, but some of the
Is
soldiers have felt otherwise.
is this the kingdom of Trensgar? Like
No, 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 no. Darden is the capital,
okay.
and it's a very small kingdom. It pretty much runs from it's just like the north side of the Trensgar River slash the Featherbend
hmm
Run.
hmm
So from like Fort Shimmerstone to Trensgar is the this it's a very very small kingdom. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 towns.
Looks like a four
Darden
on
is
each
the
end.
capital. Mhm.
hmm Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So why not march to Darden and demand your fair pay?
Well, General didn't pay us when we left. We figure going and talking to him, he'd probably just skewer us on the spot, toss us in jail, laugh at us. I mean, we complained when we didn't get paid, but what good would do walking to Darden? I mean, you really
Think
think they'd hear our case?
are aren't there more of you than there are of the leadership?
Maybe, but not everyone feels as strongly about this as we do. A lot of people decided to head back to being farmers and just get screwed and be screwed. Not everyone's willing to throw a full-scale revolution over this. Not a lot of people are willing to lose their lives. They've already seen too many of their friends die.
Well, I think a revolution is coming, whether you want it or not. Maybe not now. Maybe not 5 years from now. Maybe not even 10 years from now. But it's coming.
There's always
Can't you
going to be a
smell it on the
revolution
wind?
eventually. Okay. So you guys chat some more. 45 minutes pass, and you guys come to this fairly large oak tree that seems to have been struck by lightning or something. It's charred all the way through, and the core is kind of hollow. You can see it because the front is split open, like almost as if someone's chopped a big V out of it. But it's all
Hmm.
charred down with darkness. And the guy comes up to it and moves some stuff around at the bottom and pulls on a rope and opens up a trap door in the base of the tree trunk, actually
Well,
inside the tree.
I can't ride my horse down this trap door.
Nope, you're gonna have to leave it outside unless you're a
All
centaur.
right. A Neiltar. All right, I will dismount, and there's probably still like a bit and bridle in it from, or maybe
Mhm.
not.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll tie it to a tree or whatever.
Okay. Um, Zed
And
goes down first, followed by Brandon, and then Rich says after you.
I follow after Brandon. Helm still on my head,
Okay.
shield on my back.
Rich
Warhammer
goes
up
down
inside.
afterwards, pulling the trapdoor shut behind him. It's as the trapdoor shuts, it's almost pitch black, and then you notice down at the very bottom there is a soft light. This shaft goes down maybe 15 feet, which is actually pretty deep. 15 feet's it's
Yeah.
pretty deep down there.
Is it just a dirt slope
No,
or
it's a
stairs?
a straight like it's a shaft. It's
Oh,
vertical.
so do they drop straight down?
There's a ladder.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. I climb down the ladder.
Climb down the ladder, and then there's a very slight hallway, maybe 5 or 6 feet, and then a fairly large room which has, excuse me, a lantern hanging in the center of it. The room is about 8 feet tall. Lantern hangs down a few feet. So if you're 6 feet tall, you might bump into the lantern. Otherwise, you should be fine. And about the room, you see a couple of people leaning, kind of like sitting in various spots, leaning against the walls, chatting with each other, chatting, talking about themselves. Some people are sharpening weapons. Other people are, whittling spears or arrows or something like that. At the sight of you, though, everyone stands up. The room must be 15 feet long. I mean, it's kind of oval shaped, so it's like 15 feet long and 8 feet wide. But they stand up upon seeing you, and Rich says, "Well, guys, we got another recruit. This here is Miss Verissa out of Hamlet, and she thinks she's got what it takes to be a beleaguered man. You know, you know what I mean." And there's a lot of
So,
suspicious gazes cast upon you until one man,
yeah,
fairly
so
large fellow, comes up to you and slaps you on the shoulder and gives you a big hug and goes, "Welcome to the beleaguered men."
oh, that was not the response I was expecting. Your oof.
What were you expecting? A knife in your gut?
I remove my helm. I say, "Well, your other men are not so friendly."
Oh, don't listen to those guys. Their talk is fanciful and violent, but let's be honest, I could crush any one of them in an instant, couldn't I? And he kind of does like one of those, I don't know what the term is for that, but he flinches
Fake out,
towards
or yeah.
Rich, who
Hmm.
flinches back away from him momentarily. And the guy gives a laugh. He's a little bit big, and it's not all muscle, but when he hugged you, like you could feel he's got some serious strength behind him.
Yeah.
He actually like
And
knocked you back a step and lifted you up off the ground.
yeah, I'm pretty average build, only
Mhm.
9 strength, but
Yeah.
so, probably gave me a good shove.
hmm so Rich takes you back, leads you to the other end of the oval, and down a hallway. It's pretty dark, and he says, "Just leave your hand on the wall and follow it. Try not to get too lost." And it curves around for a little
Did
bit.
I get the name of the big man?
Yes, his name is Holden.
Holden. All right, so I guess I trace the wall.
hmm
Am I following Rich, or
Yeah,
am
you're
I?
following Rich, but it's dark. The lantern doesn't extend down here. And it leads for a little ways until it opens up into another small room, this time lit by a torch on the wall. Um, and
Hmm.
there is a desk, and sitting in the desk facing towards you is an older man in his 50s or 60s. He's got scars across his face, and a patch of his hair is white from probably scar tissue and the discoloration of the hair. He's
Hmm.
got an eye patch over one eye, and he looks up from his writings as you guys walk in. And Rich says, Sir, found this lady, says she wants to join up. We gave her a little bit of a test. She successfully robbed some random farmers on the road. Didn't kill any of them. Thought I'd take her to see you. Guy nods, and Rich turns around, says good luck, and walks out.
Fuck. All right. Is there a seat for me to sit in, or is it just
Nope.
new? All right.
Nope, nope, nope.
So
Hold
I.
on, I'm just making some notes. The guy stands up, and you see, in addition to this scale armor, if I said anything
Mhm.
previous, it was a lie. In
Mhm.
addition to his scale armor, he has a longsword at his side. Okay, cool, done. And he comes over to you and looks you up and down, walks around you, and kind of inspecting
I
every
sort
bit of
of.
you, and then goes to sit
I,
on his desk, looking at you, just kind of like leaning back on it.
I stand there in silence. I sort of watched him as he circled and meet his gaze as he sits down on the desk.
You don't look very beleaguered to me.
I don't think that I am, but the gods have seen fit to bring me into your lives. And I think together it is finally time that we do some great work.
What sort of work are you looking to do?
I'm sort of looking around his office, getting the lay of the place.
It's
Well, I'm. Oh, you can describe the office if you want. But
uh, it's a very small room, maybe 8 feet wide, 10 feet long. There's a desk at the back end of it with a chair. I mean, not all the way against the back, with the chair. You notice that there's a small chest beside the desk, but pushed against the wall. There's a torch on the right side when you walk in, left side if you're looking at from the desk, and a rack of weapons and armor on the left side.
mhm. I must admit I hadn't heard of the Beleaguered Men until just the other day. It's probably like nightfall by now, right? Like we come in after dark?
Let's see. It would have been just afternoon once you got to the town. Maybe
Okay.
half an hour later to do the combat or to do that thing, and then an
Hmm.
hour there. So it's like two, actually.
Okay.
It's been a very eventful day.
Yeah, it was a quick walk from Hamlet to Thrindar.
I mean, 6 hours. You left at dawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing things happen when you wake up before noon, Ryan.
I know. I, I must admit I hadn't heard of the Beleaguered Men until just this morning, but
And
and I'm still trying to get my mind around your mission statement. Your men are not the best ambassadors to the outside world,
mission
but
statement.
but I think I can help you. I finally achieved the justice you deserve.
Hmm.
That is what you're after, right? What, getting what is yours.
We're gonna take what's ours, and what's ours is a year's worth of pay. Was going to come out of the taxes normally, so we'll just take it out of the taxes a little bit differently.
Sounds very fair.
You didn't fight in the wars, did you? You look a little young.
No, I did not fight in the wars. I was just a child.
Well, I can't, in good conscience, pay you with money we take from people for work you haven't done. But if you're here as a good Samaritan to join up and get us paid for the work we haven't done, the work that we have done, we can always use a good. He leans over to look at your weapon, hammer at our side.
I don't I don't need much. I don't need pay. I shake my head. I serve a higher cause. But if you can find it in your conscience to feed me for the time that I watch your backs, then I am happy to align myself with your cause for now.
What is this higher cause you serve?
Mm, The gods.
It's not often we get religious fanatics in here. I'll have you know we are not evil men. If you're one of those Verasi worshipping sons of bitches, you can get the hell out of here in a body bag.
Are, is Verossi in favor at this point in time? What age are we in?
We are in the age of iron. Verasi is not in favor,
Mm-hmm.
um, but she's
Smart.
just like the god of death, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, Malchus is the god of evil. So Verasi's kind of just, you know,
Say no, no, not Verossi. I I gesture to the wooden spear on my around my neck.
soldier's god. Well, if you're here to watch our backs, see what's done, Priestess of Bellum is always welcome. Makes a little bit more sense now, your actions. Getting about ready to put you on a spike. Random woman shows up, says she wants to join us. Doesn't make too much sense, but Cleric of Bellum, I can see that making sense.
I lean against a wall. Is it raw earth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was with that hanged man south of Threndar? I thought you and your men tended to avoid murdering innocents when it can be helped.
Oh, most certainly. We found that body on the side of the road.
Just
Dead before we got there.
marking your territory.
People think we kill a few others. They might give us less problems. We've had to hurt some people in the past. Had to kill a few that resisted too much. Figured one dead man might make less dead men later.
Well, when are you planning on sending your boys out again?
Well, many of them are out already. People we take our own shifts. If you're looking to do some work, I'll be headed out tomorrow. You can come with me. See
Sounds
how
good.
You do.
It's reassuring to hear you don't take pleasure in the murder of innocents. But
No.
if things get hairy, I know my way around needle and thread and have some other tricks too. So
All right, then.
I can keep bad from getting worse.
He nods, and as he gets a little bit closer to you, he says, "So, I've seen served with some clerics in the war." And his voice gets low for a moment. Are you a cleric or a true cleric?
I just give him a knowing smile.
He nods, pats you on the shoulder, and proceeds to walk into the darkness that is the hallway to the previous chamber.
I turn and follow after him, I suppose.
Okay. You both arrive, and he says, "Well, everybody, I'd like to make a little announcement. You guys all remember Thomas from back in the war?" And you see a lot of people nodding their heads. He says, "Well, Lady Veressa here is our new Thomas. Although I don't think she'll like the name Thomas. But, fuck it." And you see a lot of people, they turn from looking at him to looking at you with a kind of a look of surprise and maybe pride in their eyes.
Wow. Good to be appreciated. I would imagine that I was probably one of the few spellcasters in Hamlet.
The
As
only spellcaster in Hamlet.
really,
Yeah.
so like the other priests didn't have the gift.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Cool. Um, so they show you around the cave. There's another chamber. In fact, let's just draw this on a map. Why not? We have maps, right? We can get rid of this initiative thingy. So here is the kind of entry chamber. Why does this? Am I making these things too big? No, that's perfect.
Somehow I drew a thing.
And then there's a little hallway, which opens up into a much bigger room. Well, I think that might be too big. Oh yeah, it's way too big.
So would is magic in this age looked at with distrust, or is it just awe?
Most people, it's awe
I
and
mean, what would it have
surprise.
been like being a priest with these with magic?
Your magic would have only come to you very recently, and that's probably what
Okay.
sent you on. Like you found this Bellum thing, started getting into it, and then all of a sudden you started developing these powers, and that kind of triggered you to gear up and head out and do other things in the world. So probably most people in town when you left didn't know that you were spellcasting capable.
Okay.
Just your friends in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So there is a tunnel that does this, which then comes to this other office room. The tunnel does this here. So this is the cave system. This front room here is where you saw those people hanging out. This back here is the office. Is all this being shown on? Oh, I didn't show that on screen. Okay, let's do it again. This over here is the office area, I guess, where you saw Falstat, Falstat hanging out back here. That's the leader. This is the main room, I guess, where people were hanging out. This is the ladder room, and over here is the sleeping quarters. Well, I guess it's not really. People sleep here and here, but those are the other chambers. There is a well in the sleeping quarter area, as we'll call it, that has been dug into the ground to provide fresh water. And there's also a few air shafts that are poked up and go outside.
What was the other guy's name? Zed, Blank, and Brandon.
Brandon, Rich, Zed,
Rich.
Holden, and Falstat.
Yeah.
There's a well against the backside.
And all of this lit by, or at least the rooms are lit by lanterns, torches.
Yes. Let's see, we've got a lantern that hangs in this room, lantern that hangs in this room. Oh my. These are far too big. And a torch over here, which will probably show up way too large as well. Yeah. And desk.
Ooh. The artwork. Did you buy these assets, or are they just in there?
Some of them I have purchased. Many of them are free.
Mm-hmm.
But I did at one day when I was going through and planning stuff, like splurge and get a whole bunch of really cool artwork assets. the organization of which is uncomfortably difficult to
Yeah.
manage. Cool. So that's it. Oh, and we
Okay.
need a ladder as well, I guess.
Where do the men sleep?
They mostly sleep back here in this room that I'm
Mhm.
waving at.
I assume I'm the only woman.
You are the only woman.
How do you feel about sleeping in armor? Do you generally frowned upon? Do
Generally
you,
frowned upon, can be done in a pinch, but if it's done excessively from day to day to day,
Mhm.
penalties will start to be incurred.
Okay. So I will rest up. I probably had a. It's been a long day. I've only had one meal.
Okay, yeah, they feed you. They've got some food around.
Yeah. So I will eat. I will remove my armor and rest, and
Yeah.
probably slightly on edge in this hole in the ground with a bunch of strange men.
hmm
So I'm on
Uh,
guard. But
yeah, I mean everything was fine. They chat with you. There's a few other people. There are the beleaguered men are a total of 15 folk. One, two, three, four, five. So there's an extra 10 people. And three of them are out right now, off working, as they call it.
okay.
The rest of the day passes pretty uneventfully. The men tend to stay down below. You notice in the sleeping quarters, there's an ample
Oh.
supply of oil for
Mm-hmm.
torches and lanterns.
Sounds dangerous.
Uh,
I will mention at some point that the draft horse that I procured that is upstairs.
at that, Rich says he's already taken care of it for you.
Okay. All right.
And at the same time, you notice that there is a supply of fresh meat here that you don't recognize earlier.
Horse flesh. All right.
Okay.
Seems
Uh,
like a waste, but
well, yeah. The day passes and night falls. Not that you can really tell down here, but as it does, someone from upstairs, someone comes down and goes, "All right, lights out, nighttime." And they put the lights out, and everyone goes to just crashes. It's pitch black underground at night.
yeah,
Uh,
sleep. I try to find a place to sleep a little away from everyone else, just like a corner of the room that's more deserted, and sleep with my hammer.
It's cool, but a little bit humid with all the bodies in here. Actually, no, it's warm and humid. There's a lot of people underground, and there's not a lot of place for that hot air to go. Some of it does
Mhm.
seep out that ladder and out through the ventilation shafts, but
Mhm.
there's you got 15 people
Oh,
generating
this
heat.
is tiny little room,
Mm-hmm.
snuggly.
Mm-hmm. All right. The next day rolls around, and Falstat says, "All right, you're headed off with me, and we're going to take Brendan and Rich. Zed, why don't you go back in town, make sure we don't have any problems there?" And he, issues a few other orders to other people, and the group
All right.
splits up. You head out with
I
Falstat
strap on my
and
armor. Yeah.
yeah, you head out with Falstat and Rich, and make your way back towards the road. Pretty much the same spot that you were yesterday. When you get there, the cart is gone.
Mhm.
Someone must have come along and taken it or something. And Falstat says, "So we're gonna set up here, ignoring whatever comes by until something I think looks juicy rolls around. Maybe a merchant, something like that. And that'll be that."
All right.
You spent much time sleeping outside, or you always had a feather bed where you come from?
I come from Hamlet. It's a podunk little town, so
Yeah, but you're a cleric.
I'm used to the wilds.
Churches and whatnot sometimes a little bit cush.
Yeah, you haven't seen our church.
You're right. I haven't. Okay. So let's see.
So I see. So no, I'm not used to a life on the road, but I'm used to roughing it.
Okay. You guys hang out there for a while. Uh, Rich is on one side of the road with a bow. You guys are on the other side. It's very near that same rock place. In fact, it's the exact same rock place. He's on
Mhm.
the south side. You guys are on the north side.
And
And as you wait,
so
a
that means
bunch of
we're in the road.
Hmm?
That means we're standing in the road
No,
or
no,
the
no.
north side of the.
You're on the north side of the road. But you're beyond the road. You're out in
Mhm,
the wood, in the forest, hidden
mhm,
from view.
mhm.
Um, so you wait, and there's plenty of traffic coming this way and coming that way, and until you see this another covered wagon coming down the road. This time pulled by a strapping young man who's wearing a big, bulky
Is
set of robes over him, and the wagon is being pulled by a nice, big, strong horse that's trotting down the road. And you get a little nudge from Falstat and goes, "That one,
you want me to
young,
stop him?
supplies, good horse. It's a good take. Yeah, why don't you go out there and see what you got?"
All right. I strap on my shield, grip my or helm on head, grip my warhammer, and step out into the road. Same plan as last time. Is it just the one guy that I can see?
Yep.
All right. So I do the same thing. How wide is the road?
It's here. It's wide enough for two wagons to pass, one on either side. In fact, there's two sets of wagon ruts.
Okay. Um, so I just strut out into the middle of the road and spread my legs in a non-sexual way and stare down at this wagon as it approaches. Hammer across the shoulder.
The man rolls to a
There,
stop about 50 feet from you, pulling up on the horses. Whoa! What are you doing blocking the road?
collecting taxes.
I think the taxes have already been
Yes.
collected this year.
Back taxes. And I start eyeing the wagon while still standing in front of the horse.
You're not one of those beleaguered folk, are you? I didn't hear that they had any women.
I'm wearing my helm, but I guess he's telling by my voice.
Yeah.
Say, you guessed right. Back taxes on behalf of the beleaguered men. If you hand over your valuables, your life will be spared. I think I start playing with the horse. Like I'll let
Oh, so
my.
you close the 50 feet to him.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. So then I guess I started walking towards him.
Okay.
And I assumed he pulled up to me.
No, no, no. He stopped out at 50 feet.
Mhm.
Um,
Just a super casual walk.
okay.
So I'll take most of a minute, I think, to walk the 50 feet as we're having this conversation.
You see a smile cross his face, and then there's a lot of commotion, and pouring out of the back of the wagon come four men with bows. And the guy in front
Okay,
throws off his robe, revealing chainmail armor and a long sword underneath.
I figured you'd pull something like this. So let's roll for initiative.
Let's
As soon
roll
as I
for
see the
initiative.
bows, I'm gonna immediately try and close.
Okay. Let's roll for initiative.
I wasn't surprised or anything.
Um, no, I mean you're standing there ready for combat. I mean, how surprised could you possibly be? I mean, maybe if a machine
Mm-hmm.
gun popped out and started like mowing people down, you'd be confused
Mm-hmm.
and surprised. But you know, this seems fairly reasonable. There are too many people, so we're just going to do group initiative.
Oh,
One for
then I
beleaguered
guess a
men,
4.
one for other guys, and one for you.
Okay, so I guess I roll a 4.
Okay, you go dead last. The
Ouch.
archers pour out and notch arrows, aim them at you, and there is a volley, which could just be the end of Varissa as we know it.
You said
Armor
there's 4?
4 armor class in
Oh, I didn't calculate it. Shit. What? Let's see. I've got splint mail and a shield. I think that's AC 3, but let me look it up.
so 17.
Yeah, sorry, AC 17.
Um, yeah. 'Cause splint mail gives you AC 16, and shield makes it 17. Yeah. Are you still looking? I'm convinced that it
I'm
is.
I am too. I was just gonna double check while you were rolling,
Because
just
it
in
makes a
case.
difference. Someone did roll 16.
Okay. From the Fuck. Is armor class not under the equipment?
It is. It's
It's
God,
more
like 2
stupid.
pages before the weapon table on the bottom right. It's some bullshit. Fucking. Oh,
Yeah, because
are
I
you
found
looking at arms and equipment? Or I'm sorry.
I'm in player's handbook right now,
Yeah.
actually. Ugh. Damn it. Sorry. I don't actually have my books. I've just got
Yeah, my books are all downstairs. Um, here we go. Here's the player's handbook, money and equipment. EA for PDFs, equipment lists, armor,
I found
splint
the. Oh, there we
mail.
go. Splint mail is 4. Splint mail plus a shield is 3.
Yeah,
So 17.
perfect. So
Make sure I
a
get that
flurry
added
of
to my character.
arrows flies at you. One gets caught in your shield. Two get caught in your shield. One of them sticks in one of your shin guards, and another one flies wide and sinks in the sand or in the mud next to you. The guy hops off the wagon, comes running at you with his long sword drawn.
So none of the arrows did better than a 17? Or
No,
did 17 do better?
16 was the
Okay.
highest they rolled.
All right.
And swings his longsword at you, which you immediately interpose your shield in the way of.
Mm-hmm.
Clattering against you, you hear a cry come from the woods to your right, and you see Falstat running towards one of the archers
Mm-hmm.
on that side of the wagon, swinging his sword, natural 20. Archers are unarmored, so he's going to die probably, unless there's like a series of ones. Because that's a 4 times critical or 3 triple crit, so 4 times damage dice. Yeah, that's just not looking good at all. That is 20 damage.
That's an insta kill.
Yeah, so he just
Decapitated.
comes up and lops the head off one of the archers right
Mm-hmm.
away as an arrow flies from the side, sticking in the chainmail of the guy that's working or fighting against you, like the melee guy with you.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn, and why don't we have battle music going?
Yeah. So I will circle strafe around this the swordsman as I'm engaged in melee combat with him. I'm not going to provoke an OA, but I'm going to position myself so that I'm now between him and his cart and his archers. Actually, that puts my back to the archers, doesn't it?
It
So I'll
does.
continue circle strafing and just circle him as I take a swing.
Okay.
Ooh. And a miss with my hammer.
Ooh.
I think grinning widely underneath my helm.
Well, we don't even need to bother with battle music at this point. The archers get their second volley, which they will ignore and instead fucking run. They just turn and start running down the road.
Okay.
None of them provoke an OA. And then the guy in the bushes gets a second shot at the guy against you, which is a hit. And he hits for 6 damage, which is enough to take the guy down. So he shoots him in the ribs, pierces through the armor, and the guy collapses to his knees in front of you. Not dead, but clearly bleeding to death. You could save him if you want. Your
Is okay. Next round.
It would be
That
the
was
next
the end
round.
of the first round.
Yeah, the archers are running. What's his name? Falstat is going for the horse, and you don't see any movement from Rich. What do you do?
Wait, is Rich down?
No. Rich is hiding in the woods with his bow.
Okay. There's no. So the archers have run. The swordsman is downed.
And one archer is beheaded.
All right. I'll kneel over the guy and I don't know if I'll close his eyes if they're not closed and offer up a prayer to Bellum
Okay.
and leave
He's.
him.
I mean, he's breathing still. He's gasping for air. Like, and I mean, not gasping. He's unconscious, but like he's gurgling, and, like coughing up blood. You close his eyes and let him die.
Yeah, I close his eyes, and if he, yeah, maybe
Okay.
put a hand over. Yeah, I'll choke him out. I guess like put a hand over his mouth and
Just like
try
suffocate
and
him.
yeah,
Okay. He dies very
as
quickly.
I mutter a prayer as I'm doing so. Offer him up as a sacrifice.
Falstaff walks around and goes, "Well, that did not go as well as I had hoped.
It seems they were expecting you.
Well, it's only a matter of time before we start drawing real attention. It's unfortunate that it happened already. This is a good spot too. Great cover. All
Can
right.
find another. Is there anything in the cart?
I
Probably
doubt it.
not, huh?
He walks over, peeks
I
behind. Yeah, nothing in here.
well, that chain will fetch a pretty penny or protect one of your men. Look like a good sword.
Yeah, good sword, good chain, good horse, and we could shore up the walls in the camp with some of this wood from the cart, or sell the cart. And then again, sell too many carts gets a little suspicious. You're the new folk in town. How would you like to take a trip? Head up to Nair or Irinith? Sell the cart up there where they haven't heard of us, where they haven't been bothered by us. Head back with the money.
Sure, can do.
Cool. Do you've got coin to get yourself there? Do you have enough food?
Um, I I should be fine.
All right. Well, take the cart and the horse. Come back with the horse if you can, and we'll see you in a couple of days. You know the way to the camp?
Do I think that I could find it again? I mean,
Yeah, probably. Maybe. I don't know. You've
say
only
I've
been
been
there
there.
once.
Yeah, I say I've only been there the once. Any tricks to finding the way back?
Just find the
Suppose if I get
cart.
lost, I can just stand in the road and shout, "I've got money! I've got money!"
There's a chuckle.
I hop on the cart and start turning it around, leaving him with the bodies to deal with.
Great. It
I take a
is
peek in the back of the wagon. There, it's just totally empty.
completely empty.
All right.
All right, so you head on out.
Wouldn't it
It
be
was
better to? Where was it coming from?
this was coming from Ritule.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, so it's already pointing in the right
I,
direction.
yeah, good. So I was for some reason thinking it was coming from Threndal, and I would be turning this wagon right from where it came and driving a stolen wagon right back the direction it came from.
No. No.
All right.
Great. So yeah, you head back. It's late afternoon by now. By the time you actually pull into Threndal, because you're waiting on the road for a good thing to pass by, and well, it took a
Mm-hmm.
while for these guys to show up. You pull into Threndal. I mean, it's still late afternoon. And you know this area fairly well since you grew up in Hamlet, but you're not that well traveled. You
Mm-hmm.
suppose you could get to Dorian a little after nightfall, maybe a couple hours after nightfall, if you wanted to push it through the woods at night. But you'd need some source of light for to see by, unless you wanted to
Um,
travel in pitch black, which is silly.
so no, I'll stop in Threndal and pick up some torches and food.
Cool. Normal cost for everything: a copper a torch. How much food do you want?
Probably just snacks for the day.
Okay, so shell out like a silver for snacks.
Yeah. I guess I'll buy 10 torches then just to make it even.
Mhm.
And carry on after a brief break.
All right, so you push out of Threndal and head out towards Dorian. It is getting towards evening. Where is our Overland with Oxen? Loving Overland with Oxen. It is yeah. Let's roll some dice. I love having a drawer of dice. I don't know if you know this, but now with this desk setup, let me see if I can check here. I just have a drawer of dice.
That's awesome.
Where's the drawer? Where's the drawer? I can't.
You showed it.
Okay, cool. I can't see the camera very well, or see what's on camera. So you can like roll shit up here, and then when you're done, you just like and that's your organizational structure. You just throw things in a drawer. So much nicer than having a bag. Even nice rabbit pelt such as this.
That thing is still in commission.
Oh hell yeah, that thing's being commissioned till it falls apart or I lose it.
I'm surprised it hasn't fallen apart.
It's got a hole in the bottom, and if you have a small D6 or like a D4 precariously positioned, it'll fall out.
Stitch it back up.
I don't know how to stitch.
Yes, Miam, it's a dead squirrel.
Rabbit.
Dead rabbit. Okay. So, why don't you introduce whatever you just rolled, and we can leave it to break on a cliffhanger?
Yeah,
Or did nothing?
close enough. I was just gonna say, you make it to the next town that day.
Bum bum bum!
Bum, bum,
Roll for initiative!
Yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.